Welcome to
Core Memory Unlocked.
Hello?
Hey, dude.
Up, baby. How you living?
Hey, I'm living good. Living good. How are you?
I can't complain. And if I did, who'd listen? The listeners? The viewers? They don't care.
Right.
They don't care.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Sorry about the mix-up of scheduling, folks. I didn't realize how close we were to releasing, and then I'm doing a whole thing with the podcast feed for Core Memory Unlocked, which, if you're watching this, it has its own podcast feed right now on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever it is, you can find it, but it has its own feed because the Hunters feed is dead. That one's gone, long gone. Bye-bye. 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 We don't need it. But what was pretty funny, so you'll get a kick out of this, Justin. So I didn't want the people to go out with nothing of Core Memory Unlocked. So I went to the Patreon. I picked out Core Memory Unlocked Horror Gremlins because we are in the holiday. We're in the fucking holiday season over here, babies.
Yeah.
And what's really great is the beginning of that episode when I intro, I say, hey, thanks for being a Patreon member. You're watching or listening to this. It's behind a paywall. Of course, it's behind a paywall. And Wonderful comes in and he's like, well, yeah, this is the only place it's going to be. And I say, yeah, until there's going to be one time where I don't record in a week and I need it to be a backup episode.
That's right, yes.
Didn't even plan it!
It's so funny. That's true. You can just pull it. That's what it's for.
I just pulled it. It was from 1 year ago of doing that episode, and I didn't even realize it. That's how good I am.
Funny. I love it. I love it.
Speaking of the Patreon, please become a Patreon member. Be a part of this wonderful group of gangsters. I don't know what we are. I don't know what we do. But, throw me podnet. It's down there. You can do a thing. I got this non-alcoholic, was it Burn It Down IPA? Burn it down. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not my favorite to go brewing, but they are my favorite.
Right. Well, that's a glass. I was like, what's in your other hand? It almost looks like its own, because it's shaped like a can. Love it.
Yeah.
But that's just the glass.
Yeah, it's the glass.
It looked like you were holding up two cans, and and you introduced one but not the other, but one's a decoy.
Two-fisted. What if I came in, I was like, this non-alcoholic beer, and then this entire glass of vodka. You know what I mean? Fuck, what is that from where it's like, I ordered all this food and a Diet Coke?
I don't know. What is that from?
What is that from? I swear to God.
I feel like it's from a lot of things.
It is. But
I feel like it's, anyway.
We're here, and we're back on track. We're having our Mike Myers. This is my Mike Myers mask double feature. And we're starting with Wayne's World 2. Before we get into the trailer, memories. I remember us talking about Wayne's World because we have covered it on the show. And I brought up the King's Dominion theme park. Paramount Pictures did the Hurler Wayne's World area. And this is when the Hurler was coming out. This is when I feel Mike Myers was at maybe not the peak. I don't want to say the peak, but he is definitely...
You can't say peak because Austin Powers has not come out yet.
Exactly, but he is on that, there. You know how some mountains are just like mountain, and then they show you the slopes or, the wintry look? We're in the wintry look of Mike Myers.
Yes. Yeah, well, I mean, he did have two movies that he starred in come out in the same year.
That's why we're doing it back to back.
Yeah, I know. And so,
my favorite note that I wrote down because I wanted to go look back. You know what day it came out on?
Wayne's World 2?
Yeah.
Your birthday.
My birthday! Good job! Justin knew it!
Thank you.
I didn't even have to lean in.
I knew it came out towards the end of the year, like in December, and I was like, well, if it's special, I bet it's your birthday. That's cool.
Yeah, December 10th, 1992.
How old did you turn in 1993?
11.
11
years old. I was primed for this movie. This movie was feeding to my need.
Yeah, I mean, I was all about Wayne's World and Wayne and Garth. I was all about these movies.
I didn't watch it till HBO. It may have came out on my birthday. I don't think I watched it till.
Yeah, I don't know if I saw it. I don't think I saw it in theaters either. But it was just, you know.
Yeah. Obviously. Well, these movies are so good. Let's get into the trailer. In case if you're one of the few that haven't seen Wayne's World 2, here we go.
Paramount Pictures presents
Extreme Closer! Wow! That was just like the first movie.
Wayne.
It's Heather Locklear.
Sure.
There is
Hooray.
a God. Heather be thy name.
And Garth.
I feel weird.
In their first movie since their last one.
What's it called?
Ah!
It's called,
Wayne's World 2.
Yes! Wow.
People need to be entertained. They need the distraction.
Welcome to Makita's. Yes, I rulers, an ox, and a Makita cup.
What? They've moved out of the basement
And what you call
Sam's
Sam's parents.
parents.
and into the spotlight.
Yes, and could I please have a donut and onion street?
Let me try to recap the order. A crawler, 2 sugar pucks, a Stanley cup, a large
That's
coffee,
not
a
the
green
voice.
jelly donut, orange drink, and a box of 5 holes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's the love affair of the year.
Yeah, I don't know. Does that sound different?
Horny.
Nice to meet you, Miss Horny.
Take me, Garth.
Where? I'm low on gas and you need a jacket.
I love that line.
Fight of
Right.
a decade. And the rock concert of the century.
Mr. Campbell, you're serious about putting on a rock concert.
Are you kidding? I'd give my right eye.
It's Wayne.
I promised myself I wouldn't cry.
It's Garth.
Howdy on.
It's a whole new world.
Let's just show all the gimmicks.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're really showing every
Early,
bit
your way.
and cameo.
Wayne's World 2.
I almost forgot.
It's the sequel you knew was coming.
What the fuck is going on?
This
What was that?
that looks like a more of like a TV spot trailer than like a theatrical trailer.
Right.
You
That
know,
was
that's what it kind
wild.
of like looked like for me. But yeah.
Weird. Yeah, so that's the trailer. I feel like it was giving away way too much of the movie, a lot of the funny shticks. And I kind of understand the Garth stuff because Garth, I feel, is the MVP of the movie.
Oh, interesting.
Specifically
Interesting.
this one. Oh, yeah, no, and we'll get into it. I
Okay.
don't like Mike Myers' arc in this movie.
Okay, right.
And
Well,
we'll get in.
yeah, I mean, so yeah, like, well, he didn't really have. I felt like he lived the same thing he went through the first one, where he has Cassandra, and then
Right.
like she's got like this cool, handsome record producer guy that he gets jealous of,
Right.
and then like a little too jealous of, and then makes her
Mm-hmm.
mad. So it's almost like the same kind of arc, except he goes crazy and then has these dreams about putting on a rock concert.
Yeah, but like, okay, well, we're going to be jumping the fuck around.
Let's get in there, man. Let's dig
now
in.
we're going in. I just want to specifically at the moment talk about Cassandra and Christopher Walken's character Bobby.
Okay,
Like,
great.
They did the same thing, except now instead of a TV
Yeah.
producer, which Wayne's World was TV, and I kind of get
Right.
it in the sense of like, well, we want to make a music concert. We want to do Waynestock
right.
because I believe Woodstock. No, was Woodstock 99? So maybe Woodstock was 99.
Yeah,
but,
Woodstock. Yeah, it was 99. Yeah,
But it's still playing off of the Woodstock name. Albums were
Right.
coming out still of
For
like all the
sure.
bands and stuff. So like they were capitalizing on that. Instead of a TV guy, let's get a music producer to be an asshole. I
Yes,
do give them
correct.
respect. I give them respect for bringing in the president, still cameo and on the phone with them. Like, why didn't
Oh,
she want to
right.
stay in Aurora? They all the reason they all want to stay in Aurora. They're boyfriends.
right,
but
right, yeah.
where my issue lies is that it is obvious Christopher Walken's Bobby just wants to fuck Cassandra. And
correct.
And so much so, there's a point where they're dancing and like I did laugh at the line when like Wayne's watching and he's like, do you think they're like too close or something? And they're just fucking grinding on the dance floor. And I'm like, okay, so apparently this just became Cuck's World too. And then from there, you know, Wayne's stalking and stuff because he doesn't trust, because they're going on dates and stuff. Immediately to them getting married. So if she wasn't fucking Bobby, why was she even marrying him?
Right. Well, yes. So there's a lot in this movie. So this movie, I think, is centered around a lot of like the good little bits that the first Wayne's World had. I think that's kind of what the point of the movie is, and the shtick is that they're silly and then they're goofy. And they're not taking anything too seriously, right? And then the whole bit is that, like, then things get taken too seriously by a TV show producer trying to make it into a bigger thing, and then that's kind of the thing, right? Whereas in this, it's like they did all that, but then, like, let's go to the beginning of the movie. They're in this giant warehouse of an apartment. This cool fucking the apartment is it's so big that they don't have to play street hockey in the street anymore. They can do it in their apartment. That's how big it is, right? And he takes this giant elevator, and then he proceeds, and then they have backstage tickets to Aerosmith, right? So they're living large now, which already kind of removes the kind of fun little quaint public access TV show that they were running. But then he's like, so his story arc starts with, people tell me to, like, I need to become an adult and become responsible. And I'm like, I don't know, man. It seems like you're living the best life ever.
It seems like you're paying bills, making money, going to concerts, still doing the show. What are we talking about? You need to grow up. The movie
is telling me one thing, but then showing me another. Like, if he was still living in his mom's basement, then I'm like, perfect. That makes sense. And then maybe, like, if he was living in his mom's basement and then he had all this pressure to, like, grow up, then maybe he would actually try to get, like, a grown-up job, and like that would go awry, which would be fun to see, you know, Wayne and Garth in, like, a suit, or like try to actually do an actual job. But it's not. So it's from the jump, it's like, this is not as believable, and it screams the first movie did really well, and so now a bunch of people want to be part, and a bunch of people want to be part of the movie. We can get Aerosmith right away, we can get Heather Locklear, we can get all these fun big names and stuff, and just kind of like, cool, party on, Wayne, party on, Garth, like, second movie, let's just do whatever.
Heather be thy name.
There's a lot of good bits, but it loses a little bit of the charm.
I think the biggest problem of that, and you've hit it on the head, and now I kind of want to, like, concrete it here. I think this movie was like, oh man, we've made so much money. This was great. People love it. It's pop culture icon status now. We need to make a part 2. What's part 2? I have no idea, but we have a lot of bits that we didn't film from the first movie that we can put in, but we have to form a movie. Okay, so what's the movie? Well, let's just do the same thing. Okay, anything else we can do? Because, like, people don't want to just see Wayne going for Cassandra again. Okay, well, let's add in Wayne stock, and then we'll add in Garth getting a crazy girlfriend, and that should be about 90 minutes. And I think now, wildly enough, as I say that, they are entertaining and charming as their characters, and even the side crew, like Chris Farley gets a bigger role in this. There's a lot of good bits. I mean, Kim Basinger as Garth's crazy love interest,
horny,
is one of my favorite things in the goddamn world. Yeah,
it's great. It's great. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So
I agree. It does seem like so many of these bits belong in the first movie. It does really feel that way. But it's also funny because of the scale and absurd, like, this movie is absurd, where the first one was very real and grounded. They were just young guys, just like, oh, we have this cool public access show, and people like it, and it's just fun, and, like, whatever, we're just living life. And then things get a little bit too big. You know, we got $5,000, like, for $5,000, you're like, this is cool. And then they can see the bad side of that. Whereas in this is like, from the jump, it's just like, logic doesn't matter. Okay, well, what's the plot? How about he just dreams the plot, where he's just told what to do, and then they go to London. Did I get an exact address? Yeah, exactly, London, England. And then they knock on this guy's apartment, and everything is just like so convenient, and like none of this is all ridiculous and out of nowhere, that it takes all of the fun little quirky bits that they do and just makes it's just not as fun.
They cartooned it. They cartooned it hard.
It was fun when Wayne and Garth were the cartoons in the real world.
Right.
But then the real world became more of a cartoon than them.
Right. And like it makes me remember in the first movie where I don't think besides this one part where when Wayne's driving gets pulled over by the cop and it's T2 Robert Patrick.
Right, yes.
Have you seen this
correct.
boy? Like that's funny because it's like, oh shit, Terminator's in this world. Now you're doing bits of like, okay, Jurassic Park's big this year. Let's film them trying to be next to a T-Rex.
Yes,
let's reference other movies and put it within the world. But even so much,
which is the only reason why she got married, is so that they can do that whole wedding.
Oh God, Jesus, no,
the whole right.
And it's a good bit, but again, it doesn't service the plot the way that it should.
It wasn't warranted.
Laughing.
Right. Agreed.
And then, like, it makes me think of the middle of the movie where when they are breaking up and he fucking gets knocked out, the next direct scene is him training the guys for a Wayne stock.
Right, yeah.
And it's just like, it's this really movie weird. Is not choosing which world it is
wants
living
to be.
in.
I agree.
And the charm of the ending of the first one where it was like, everything went wrong and Wayne was like, he was like, I don't want to do this. Let's do the happy ending. Let's do Scooby-Doo. Like, that was funny. Right.
Agreed.
We don't get that. We just get rushed. Oh, this failed. Well, I don't like that. Okay. Here's Aerosmith.
That was we already got him in the beginning of the movie.
What?
I agree. Yeah. It was like there was in the first movie there was some like fun fourth wall breaks. And they seem a little bit more justified. Whereas in this one, it just seemed like way over the top and more like plot convenience than anything else. Yeah. And so that was definitely the part. Now, I do love a lot of the bits, and I really feel like a lot of these bits could have been in the first movie and would have been great. But the plot itself, whoever was in charge of writing like the story. But that was the other thing. Like I even remember like hearing like Dana Carvey originally declined doing this movie because the original script didn't have anything for Garth to do. He's like, I'm not doing anything in this movie. I'm just following around Wayne and having him be this. I mean, it is Wayne's world, but and so I think they added a little bit more for Garth to do. Thank God, and that's why he did the movie. But even like Dana Carvey was like, no, man, there's nothing. What am I doing? I'm just a sidekick. There's nothing for me to do here.
I feel they have a tumultuous relationship almost. Yeah, I don't know if they're maybe they're friendly, but I don't think they're much friends. And
I think so.
I need to go back to look, but I swear to God, Wayne's World 1 said characters based on by Mike Myers and Dana Carvey.
Oh,
interesting. This movie just says characters based on Mike Myers.
You're right, which is crazy because Garth is based on Dana Carvey's brother.
Right.
That's how he sounds and talks. It's really fun. That's like, and so yes, I think they're better now. I've heard Dana Carvey talk about this. I think they're better now, but yeah, there was a lot of animosity towards each other, especially because like Mike Myers was kind of stealing the show and was not sharing the spotlight. I mean, and even though it was Garth was Dana Carvey's character, and then also a bigger deal, I think what really cemented that is when he went on to do Austin Powers. Dr. Evil is an impression of Lorne Michaels from SNL. And more specifically, it's Dana Carvey's impression. Dana Carvey was the one that coined the pinky to the mouth when doing the impression of Lorne Michaels.
Wow.
And he took and I feel like it is fun that Mike Myers did all these characters and did Austin Powers and Dr. Evil, but Dana Carvey could have and potentially should have been Dr. Evil, especially with that impression.
Yeah, like it makes you wonder if the original go for that movie was supposed to be, we're doing Wayne's World without them being Wayne and Garth. This is a nice team up again. And did Mike Myers like, no, I don't need a team with fucking the guy who's Turtle.
Right. Well, then, and when he did that movie, he made fun of Shrek in that movie. I don't know if you remember that. But
no, I don't.
Dana Carvey in Master of Disguise or whatever does a Shrek impression, but like shitting on Shrek. Yeah, it was
Petty.
pretty real,
I love
man.
it. I love it.
It was real. Well, also like because Dana Carvey is fucking hilarious and crazy talented, but didn't get any of the stardom that Mike Myers got whatsoever. So I can easily see him being bitter and such, especially when like Mike Myers kind of stole, his Lorne Michaels impression to create one of the most beloved characters ever, Dr. Evil. So
right.
Yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it.
And I know we went on a tangent, and I know it seems very negative about this movie, but like you've said, there are wonderful bits in it. I enjoy the Mission Impossible Village People dress up, because I do feel like that is something that could have lived in the world of Part 1.
Right. Yes.
That seems like a bit that was a part of Rob Lowe taking out Cassandra.
Right. Yes.
You know what I mean?
I agree for sure.
I do think the dancing bit was just solely Christopher Walken being like, "I want to dance, baby." Boom.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, it's great. That's fine. I wouldn't say no to that, to Christopher Walken dancing in my movie.
So my question on one of the bits, and I still think it's funny. I mean, of course, it's very inappropriate, and one of my questions for it is the scene where Wayne meets Cassandra's dad.
Yes.
And he comes in. Did the film grade change to an old Kung Fu style movie? Because I watched on my TV, 4K, beautiful 4K footage. Yeah. But it did seem like the grade went a little bit, and I could be wrong. I could just be making it up to kind of benefit the bit of, we're doing a Kung Fu style movie. Which I enjoy the bit itself. Except, again, we live in a fucking cartoon. Again, this whole movie's just a fever dream of Wayne. Like, The real fucking Wayne's World 2 is he's with Cassandra, that one crazy chick bangs into the house, blows away Cassandra, blows away Wayne where he's in a coma, and now he's just dreaming this, because there's a point where, like, he's doing the sword, he looks down, his jeans are cut, boom, immediately his jeans are back to normal.
Yes.
In the fight.
Correct.
So what the fuck are we doing?
Yes. It did feel a little bit like, we can break the fourth wall and get away with it, and then they just way overdid it. They just took absolutely.
They went through the eighth wall.
I agree. Yes. Yeah, they overdid it, and it's really fun. But I also feel like it's one of those things where like they felt like they have to amp things up. They have to top themselves, and it went a little too far overboard with that. Like, one of my favorite parts of the movie, and it so makes me miss the first movie, the quaintness of it, is when they're recording Wayne's World. Yeah. And Mike Myers is doing the leprechaun bit. I'm the leprechaun. And Gordon's like, no. And then they had to like calm him down, you know what I mean? And then they do that. And then he goes, I'm the leprechaun. I'm like, this is what Wayne's World was about. Was about making the show and this kind of silliness and having these characters at their peak. And I'm like, this is what I would watch a whole movie of just this, of like, have no plot, just give me clips of their Wayne's World show, which is what that's what the original SNL sketch was them just doing the show. And I'm like, I miss this part. Like, it should have been so much more of this.
It's part of the problem of the movie, because it being based on the skit, which is just them in a basement doing the thing. This movie should have been majoritarily them in that apartment doing the show. There's not once where they filmed the show. Right. So what you knew of it doesn't exist anymore, guys. Yes. Like, outside of the very beginning of this movie, none of that happens anymore. And that's kind of the sad part of it. I do like the Wayne Stock thing, and I know I'm being too literal because he has that fucking breakdown while shooting the show. But again, it's like, it wouldn't make sense for the most popular TV act that's going on right now, because public access or whatever. If they were putting on Wayne Stock, those tickets would have been selling. It doesn't matter. Those tickets. Right. It just feels like the way the plot goes is like, we need to service the bit instead of serving the story.
Right. Yeah. Agreed. And that's and Wayne's World 1 had a good story.
It did. Flat out. I do love the there's callbacks within it, which I enjoy. I love the very beginning. Hey, my girlfriend's in there. A lot of guys' girlfriends in there.
Yeah.
And they call back to the very end where Farley gets to do it, the walk-in. But I also like the setup of like, hey, what are you guys doing here? Just moving glass and chicken? One day, we'll stop.
That's great too. Yeah.
Great callback bit. I like that.
That's great.
And then I do like it. Again, it's that I like it in the moment. I don't love it for the movie, but it's still fun.
Right.
When the gas station attendant is Mellow.
Yes.
Mellow. Yeah. Can't we get someone else? And then Charleston fucking Heston comes in.
It's great.
It's a great bit.
It's a great bit because it's short. And it doesn't require some ridiculous movie plotness. You know what I mean? One of my other favorite bits was Ancient Shiny Secret, eh? It was just a funny line. It's just them hanging out in bed. Again, quaint, small scale. It's just him being silly.
Right.
And not him having a shared dream with a guy that lives in London about Jim Morrison. Like, I'm like, what is happening? Like, why are we making this the plot of the movie?
I don't know. I think I probably noticed it one of my last few ones, but it's still one of those things because I'm so separated of watching. I'll watch part one every few years, 5 years.
Sure,
this one I probably watch every 8, 9.
Yeah.
I always forget Tim Meadows is Sammy Davis Jr.
Yes.
Always forget. And I'm like, that's amazing.
Oh, that's funny. That's one that I actually remembered. That's one that when I see Tim Meadows, I think of that. Because that was probably one amongst the first things that I remember Tim Meadows doing. Because I was just so young. I wasn't really watching SNL that much.
Right.
And then he did The Ladies Man.
The Ladies Man.
Yeah. And do it up the butt. Another SNL movie,
Yep, again, we're going to end up just doing all the SNL movies.
Also, I do want to do a shout out to when they were at the concert in the beginning of the movie, and then they end up in like the little dork.
Say his name.
Two geeks.
Say his name.
Robert
and
Smigel and Bob Odenkirk. Were the two cameos. Yeah, almost like non-recognizable. I was like, oh, I bet these are guys. Wayne's World. Are you Wayne from Wayne's World? Yeah, several people are like, are you Wayne from Wayne's World? And he's literally wearing the Wayne's World hat. And they're wearing all the same things. You don't need to ask them.
You don't need to ask.
They're never wearing anything different. They look they look very particular, but anyway.
I think my final thoughts of this movie is if you've seen Wayne's World and you're interested in two, I absolutely say watch it. Do not expect a better movie. Expect a serviceable, funny, bit-oriented adventure. Like I said, I think I love Garth's entire thing because it is about how I'm no longer this young guy. I'm this man now. I'm a man.
Yes.
And I love Kim Basinger, like when she's like kissing his finger and it's like, hey, who's that? I just love
it's so funny.
Right into him being at the club. Well, I have my lady and I'm kind of big swing and I got to go tell people swing. Like, I just love that he just keeps evolving through this movie where I feel Wayne has devolved and not important in this movie.
Right. Yeah, I could see that. I could totally see that. I think that was part of the problem. I really wish the movie had gone a different way. I really wish that maybe he would have tried to I wish they would have tried to get real jobs because you could see it with Garth trying to act like a grown up.
Yeah.
And then not being good at it.
Lover.
Right, exactly. And he's got the little pipe. And you could see Wayne doing that too, and then maybe trying, and then maybe working too hard, and then him and Cassandra having an argument, or her saying why are you doing this? He's like, oh, that's what you wanted. I thought you wanted me to, but whatever. You wanted me to be a grown up and more responsible and stuff, and then eventually ends with finding the value in doing Wayne's World the show again or whatever.
So Deadpool and Wolverine, you just want him to do Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah. Do that.
Do that.
Right.
Do that. Right. And we should have had a different character that could have came in to help him. So what would have been the 1992 equivalent? Arnold Schwarzenegger?
To do what now?
To be with Wayne. So Wayne's World, the real sequel should have been Wayne has to figure out how to be an adult. Yeah. There has to be a macho adult. with him.
Oh, okay.
So is the
okay.
equivalent? Oh, wait a second. Arnold Bruce Willis as the Wolverine of the Wayne to Deadpool. That'd be where it's at.
Yeah.
Beat like fucking security. Fuck, now it's just Paul Blart. Oh my god.
Good too.
Oh, we gotta get Chat GTP on this.
Right.
We gotta get it on it.
It's not a bad idea.
Oh god. All right.
But yeah,
so,
that would have been if they would have put like actual thought into it. I don't know how they came about writing it or what notes they got from the studio or whatever to make it this big thing and make it. They're more dependent on like the cameos being like Aerosmith's in here, you know, and all these other big names, and they're like whatever.
Right.
So yeah, a little lackluster this one.
But watch it anyways if it's streaming. Don't pay money. I paid money, but fair enough. Look, here's the thing. I did Vudu, and Vudu was like, if you want to rent it, $3.99. If you want to buy it, $5. And I was like, why wouldn't I buy it? And then it said bundle at the bottom. And I went to that and said, or buy the bundle for $7. Okay,
right.
So I'll buy both of them. $3.50 for two, which would have been cheaper to rent. And then I also get the other one for $3.50.
Yeah, and now you have Wayne's World.
Done deal.
Love it.
All right.
Love it.
We will catch you next time where we talk another Mike Myers movie. Will we like it? Will we love it? Who knows? Who knows at this point? But you'll find out next week when we do So I Married an Ex-Emitter. Catch you next week. Love you, buddy.
Love you, buddy.